Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we peel back layers of business and tell you what's really going on. And today we're diving into Sunstone Hotel Investors Inc. Get ready. Because when it comes to hotel earnings, sometimes the devil is in the details, and we're about to get very detailed indeed. So what's the big news? On August 6th of 2025, Sunstone Hotel Investors dropped their latest update, essentially giving us a peek under the hood at their financial performance for the second quarter of the year, ending June 30th. They've released a press release and some additional financial information to paint the picture of how they're doing. One thing that pops out immediately is Sunstone's structure. They have different types of stock, like common stock and preferred stock. Specifically, we see mentions of Series Preferred stock and Series I Preferred stock. This tells us they have a bit of a complex capital setup, which is fairly common for real estate investment trusts or REITs like Sunstone, which own income-producing real estate. This whole report is filed under Form 8K, which is basically the SEC's way of saying, hey, something important just happened and the public needs to know about it right now. And that something important here is their quarterly financial results. Sunstone is incorporated in Maryland, a common state for companies to set up shop. They're registered with the SEC under file number 001-32319, and their employee identification number, which is like their tax ID, is 2012-968-886. Now let's look at what's actually trading on the public markets. Sunstone's common stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol SHO. They also have preferred stock, specifically Series H and Series I, which also trade on the NYSE under SHO and SHOP respectively. This information tells us where investors can buy and sell pieces of the company. The core of this filing, the juicy part you're all waiting for, is found under item 2.02, which deals with the company's operational results and financial standing. As mentioned, on August 6th, Sunstone put out a press release detailing their performance for the second quarter. This is what we're going to dissect to understand their health. They pointed out where to find more detailed financial information on their website, which you can usually count on for supplementary data. This next part is important to legalese. It essentially says that while they're providing this information, it's not being treated the same way as if they were officially filing a formal registration statement. This means they're not taking on the same level of legal responsibility for these specific furnished documents in the same way as other filings. It's a common disclaimer for earnings releases. And here's the index to the documents they've included. We have Exhibit 99.1, which is the press release itself, dated August 6, 2025. Then we have Exhibit 99-TO, which is the supplemental financial information for that second quarter. Lastly, there's Exhibit Unwind for the cover page interactive data file, which is how modern filings are structured for easier computer analysis. Let's dive into the actual financial results that were shared in that press release. Sunstone Hotel Investors, as the name suggests, focuses on hotels. They're a real estate investment trust, or REIT, which means they own, operate, or finance income-producing real estate across the United States. Their portfolio likely consists of a variety of hotels, and their performance is heavily tied to the travel and hospitality industry. Now for the numbers themselves. Digging into that supplemental financial information is where we find the real story. While the filing itself doesn't contain the detailed tables, the press release and supplemental data it refers to are key. Based on typical reporting for a REIT like Sunstone, we'd be looking at metrics like funds from operations, or FFO, which is a key measure of REIT profitability, and adjusted funds from operations, or FA, which is an even more refined picture. Revenue, occupancy rates, average daily rates, or ADR, and revenue per available room, or RevPAR, are also critical indicators. For Sunstone in this particular quarter, we'd be analysing how these metrics compare to the previous quarter, and crucially to the same quarter in the prior year. For example, if RevPAR saw a significant jump, it would suggest stronger demand and potentially higher room rates. Conversely, if occupancy dropped while rates stayed flat or decreased, it would indicate a tougher market. Think about it like this. If Sunstone's total revenue is down 5% year over year, that's not just a number. It means that for every $20 they made last year, they're now making $19 this year. This could be due to fewer guests, lower room prices, or a combination of both. We'd also be looking at their operating expenses. Are they managing costs effectively? If their revenue is declining but their expenses are rising, that's a double whammy, squeezing their profits even further. For instance, if utility costs or labour expenses have gone up significantly and they can't pass those costs on to customers through higher room rates, their margins will shrink. We'd also be paying close attention to their balance sheet. How much debt does Sunstone carry? REITs often use leverage, but too much debt can be a serious risk, especially if interest rates rise or the company's income falters. The filing would show their long-term debt obligations, and we'd want to see if that's growing or shrinking. What about their capital expenditures? Are they investing in their properties to keep them modern and competitive? Or are they cutting back on maintenance? Investing in renovations can boost future revenue, but it also costs money in the short term. The mention of preferred stock also means we need to consider their dividend payouts on that preferred stock. These are usually fixed obligations, and if the company struggles to generate enough income, paying those dividends can become a challenge. Finally, the report is signed off by Aaron R. Reyes, who is identified as the principal financial officer and a duly authorized officer. This signature confirms that the information presented is accurate and has been reviewed by a senior member of the company's financial leadership. Now let's look at the bigger picture and what these numbers might mean for Sunstone hotel investors. Even without the specific figures directly in front of us here, we can talk about the implications of earnings reports like this. Sunstone operates in the hotel sector, which is highly sensitive to economic conditions, consumer confidence, and travel trends. If the economy is strong, people tend to travel more for both business and leisure, which is good for hotels. If there's economic uncertainty or a downturn, hotel bookings often suffer. The company's performance in this quarter would give us clues about its strategic direction. Are they acquiring new properties, divesting underperforming assets, or focusing on improving the operational efficiency of their existing portfolio? The numbers would tell us if their strategy is paying off. Risks for a company like Sunstone could include increased competition from other hotel chains or alternative accommodations like Airbnb, rising interest rates that make debt more expensive, unforeseen events like natural disasters or pandemics that disrupt travel, or a general slowdown in the economy. Opportunities might lie in leveraging strong travel demand, expanding into new markets, developing new hotel brands, or using their real estate expertise to redevelop properties. Looking at this filing, my take is that understanding Sunstone's specific financial performance hinges on seeing the detailed numbers behind their Q2 report. While the filing itself is a formality, the supplemental financial information is where the real story about their operational success or struggles lies. We need to see if their revenues are growing, if their expenses are under control, and how their debt levels are managed in the context of the broader hospitality market. If they're showing strong RevPAR growth and healthy FFO, it signifies a well-managed company adapting to market conditions. If not, it might indicate they're facing headwinds that require a closer look at their strategy and capital management. Ultimately, the market reacts to these reports, so the numbers will dictate investor confidence and likely impact their stock price. Alright, that's our breakdown of Sunstone Hotel Investors' latest SEC filing. What's your take on these results and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into corporate finance. Don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for even more insights and discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.